I want to welcome everybody. Now we can expedite the process and really show you about our company and what we have to offer. So we find that obviously we already have an interest in you. If we can go through all those details here today with a short video call here, we can really kind of peg things down to the people that we would have an interest in, and in return the people that would have an interest in us as well. And then just keep in mind, once we're done going through everything here today, there will be some instructions for those of you that would have an interest on next steps and kind of what we would do from here. Okay, so that's the outline you guys are looking at. I just want to take a moment to introduce myself. I definitely do not want to sit here for very long and talk about myself, but just so you guys who know who's talking to you today. My name is Matt Turnquist, regional manager here with Globe Life and American Income. Been with the company myself now for coming up on 12 and a half years. And really what I do at this point in my career is oversee our offices from a regional standpoint. Now, here's the big thing to understand about our marketing structure. And hopefully someone has passed this information along to you already, but if not, I'll definitely make sure to pass it on along to you now. We do not cold call. We do not telemarket. We do not go door to door. We do not do the friends and family thing. And we do not go to random businesses. These things that a lot of other companies have to do is really a big thing that kind of sets us apart. Okay, so the way that things kind of work from a marketing standpoint is that everything starts with the first thing that popped up there, which is our PR, our public relations department. Okay, well, public relations job is their job is to kind of do the dirty work. Okay, they cold call, they prospect, they go to random businesses. They have those things I really don't want to do. Now, don't worry, we're not hiring for public relations today, but it's important to understand someone's got to do it, and that's who does it for us. Now, at the end of the day, what that PR rep's going to do is they're going to meet with the executive members of one of these unions or groups we're talking about. They'll present what the company offers, and then that executive group and that board will vote if they'd like to use our company. Okay. Now, once that happens is where we come in out of an office like this. Once we have now signed a group or renewed a group, every member of that group now is going to get a mass mail out. So no matter who you are, from the newest apprentice all the way up to the retiree that's been with the union for 50 years, everybody is going to get a letter sent to them from their union. Now, the key to this letter is that the letter, as you can kind of see at the corner of the page there, is going to be from the union. Because we all get direct mail solicitations all the time. Probably I'm going to look twice at them. I know that I throw those away on a daily basis. And same thing with with our members. But the key is that group is the one mailing that with the group's logo. So a much better chance that member is going to actually open up the mail because it's from a group that they pay dues to, and that negotiates retirement benefits and insurance benefits, pensions, things like that. So once they open up that envelope, the next key to understand is that letter you guys are kind of seeing there at the corner of the page is still going to be from that union or group. It's one thing to get someone to open up the mail, but if the first thing they see is a big insurance company logo, probably not going to even bother to read it, but they won't. They will see their group's logo, usually them with their local address, and also signed by a high-ranking member like the president as well. Now, what those benefits are, just to be aware, guys, is going to be a combination between no-cost benefits and then additional benefits that they may be able to qualify for. Obviously, everybody's going to have a different need. You take a 25-year-old to start with a union compared to a 65-year-old getting to retire, ready to retire. Obviously, very different needs, so it's going to be based on their individual situation. Now, if the member is interested in what has been presented there, they then have to actually send back a reply card expressing their interest. As you can see, very basic information they're going to provide: name, address, phone number, date of birth, and most importantly, who they want to make their beneficiary. And they do have to physically then send that back in the mail. We'll pay for the postage, but do have to send that back. What we find is that most people do not go through the time to open something, read it, respond, and mail it back if they have no interest whatsoever. So then at that point, what will happen is that we will then be in contact with that interested party to then actually set up a time to go through a virtual presentation regarding their benefits. And that right there in a quick snapshot is our marketing process. Big thing to understand about that is that we're only reaching out to and meeting with members that have already expressed their interest. So it really takes out the cold calling, prospecting, telemarketing, door-to-door, a lot of things I know I was looking to avoid, like I'm sure a lot of us are as well. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. So we're set up for our marketing structure, and again, how we work with members that have requested our services. Now, a couple things to preface here before we go through the career track. I'm going to go through the entire career track from entry level all the way through. There may be a select few people that would qualify to start in a leadership role, but keep in mind that we are very big up and running from within. So the majority of people will start at the entry level position. Okay, so as far as our career track goes, like I said, most people will start out at the associate level. And at the associate level, you're worried about one person, and that person would be you. Okay, now what are you doing as an associate? Well, plain and simple, you're the face of the company with the individual member. So we told that board, that group, and that president we were going to do, it's your job to make sure that's actually carried out properly. So a couple big things I'll tell you about the associate role. First off, you have to be a people person. And a lot of people say they are, and then you get to know them and they're really not at all. You got to like dealing with people. It's going to be 99% of the job, and it's not going to really change as you move up. So I tell people, if you're going to sit in a cubicle and just stare at a computer all day, probably the opposite of that kind of job. Second of all, gotta like variety. Every day is different. I've been here over 12 years. I don't really think one day's been the same. Depends on the time of year, the groups we're working with, what we have to accomplish as a territory. So I also tell people, if you're looking for a job where it's just the same thing 8 hours a day over and over again, definitely the opposite of that kind of a job as well. We call this client services, heavy customer service, and then soft sales with existing accounts only. Now, I want to be very clear. This is not car sales, timeshares, stockbrokers. I'll tell you right now, if you're looking to be pushy, you're looking to pressure somebody, this is also not going to be a good fit. But obviously, we are a for-profit company. We are trying to increase our revenue. So you do have to be okay showing a need and making our products look attractive. And the customer service is huge. We have over 95,000 existing clients in our territory alone. That will grow close to 6 figures here by the end of the year. So you will definitely deal with existing clients and customers. All right, now to show you how long it takes to move up, I'm going to show you how long it takes to move up if you're looking to advance from day one. Sometimes people are not always looking to advance right away, but we'll kind of assume that someone is looking for that quick advancement. And if that's the case, the first promotion usually takes about 3 to 6 months. So your first step then into a leadership or management capacity is what's called an SA or supervising agent. SAs are going to work with small hands-on teams of 2 to 5 people. You directly work with these folks, so we try to keep those teams condensed. For all intents and purposes, an SA is a trainer. Still going on a client services role, so everything that got you to where you are, but now you got somebody side by side that you're training individually. We do some classroom stuff, but we are very big on a one-on-one on-the-job training, and a lot of times that will be facilitated by a supervising agent. Next step up is what's called a GA or general agent. This is really kind of like your middle-level manager. Team size here, we're talking about more like 6 to 10, still small enough where you're training, you're still working with clients, still doing everything that got you to where you are, but now you have a little more of a team feel, a little bit of management development. I tell people this is that middle ground. You keep doing what got you there and you start training where you're hopefully going next. All right, final 2 positions here are going to really tend to be those destination positions. These are the ones that a lot of times people are really trying to get to and stay at longer term because they are the upper level management positions. And the first one of those is called an MGA or Master General Agent. These are going to be the people that really run our main teams here at the office. Team size at this level, we're talking like 12 to 20. Mostly systems, management development, time in the office, and not a lot of whole time, a lot of time individually training or working directly with clients. I tell people this is full-on team management. So if you're looking to run a team on a daily basis, that's definitely the MGA position. Let's go over the requirements to work for the company. Have to have a laptop computer. Now, if you know a laptop computer today, I don't need it by tomorrow. You get some time to figure it out. Rent or borrow is fine. But just understand that on that laptop computer, there's really one requirement, and that's that it turns on and connects to the internet. Okay, so it does not have to be fancy. Macs are good. PCs are good. What I will say is that if you do have a tablet, it does need to be a Windows-based tablet. I love my iPad. Doesn't work. Windows-based laptop tablet or an actual laptop computer. And the final thing that someone needs to do is you need to be certified in the state of Colorado or in a different resident state is fine as well. But you need to be certified in your home state as a life producer only. This is a certified profession. Now, sometimes we should get around that, but for being honest with each other, very difficult to find any careers that don't require additional skills and certifications. That's kind of a big component that makes something a career. Now, as far as the details of that license, a couple things on that. First thing is that we are very involved with you in that first step. So what we do is we put you on an online study course, kind of like an online school. That way you can kind of study with us here in the office or remotely from home as well. And then based on what you have going on, we're going to put a little calendar together for you. And if you follow that study calendar, we currently have a 92% first-time pass rate. Second thing to clarify is that someone would already be hired first before they would do any of this. I know there's a lot of other companies out there that go, hey, we can make you an offer after you complete your licensing. You'd actually know that you were employed with the company before starting this, so you're doing this for a job you already know you have. Fees for the license, I want to be very clear. Fees are going directly to the state and not to the company. There are a lot of companies out there that will actually have you pay them directly. I tell people to avoid that because in many cases, they're actually trying to profit off of you, which, trying to profit off a brand new employee just to us does not seem ethical. So keep in mind that all your payments are going to go directly to the state. But with that said, there are 3 fees. Fee number 1 is your study course, the actual online course to get you going. And that course is $90. Once you completed that course at the end of that first week, you will then go to a state testing center, or you also can take the exam online as well. And it will be $30 to take the exam itself. Finally, a few days later, they send you the actual license or certification itself, which is $50. So it's 90, 30, 50 spaced over a couple of weeks. And just be very clear one more time, that goes to the state and not to the company. And guys, I'll end things saying kind of a note, but it just brings some of the point of everything that we're talking about in here today. Especially with today's world, you see stuff on the news like this every other day. But I won't go all the way back to 9/11. And I'm sure some of you guys watching this were probably very young, if barely even born by then. But I don't think anyone's ever going to forget about 9/11. So as I'll remember, we had the 2 hijacked airplanes flying to the Twin Towers there in New York, because again, I'm sure we all recall very well. Now, in other words, guys, you could call that an act of war. And if anybody in there has a life insurance policy, you go home today and you open up your policy to the exclusion section, you will see under exclusions of every policy on the market, the terminology act of war. So if a soldier dies in the war, someone's killed in a terror attack, when things like this happen, it's actually deemed a catastrophic event and the company is not obligated to pay that claim. Whether you agree with that or not, that's the way the law was written. Back when 9/11 happened, the majority of fallen police and fire did not get their death claims paid. They got their line of duty through work, obviously, but if those families had any extra insurances on their own independently, the majority of those did not cash out. We did. From a handful comes that did, paid over 200 death claims in New York City Police and Fire, not because we had to, but because it was the right thing to do. And I can't think of a better example, but I'm very proud to work for that company, or for this company, I should say. Thank you so much, guys, for your attention, and wish you all the best of luck. Coming on your screen next will be information on a next step if you are interested in taking that next step with us. Till then, good luck to everybody, and we hope to see you very soon through the process. Thank you.